King Charles III finds himself in a delicate and increasingly controversial position as questions continue to swirl over how he has dealt with his younger brother, Prince Andrew, following years of scandal and public outrage. What was intended as a firm response from a monarch, stripping Andrew of titles and ordering him to leave the family's traditional residence, has triggered fresh criticism. Many observers now argue that the measures taken have not gone far enough to satisfy a public that remains deeply disturbed by Andrew's conduct and the broader implications for the British monarchy. The saga around Prince Andrew's standing with the royal family has unfolded over many years, with his reputation taking a severe hit after revelations about his friendship with convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein and allegations of misconduct that have dogged him since. In recent months, renewed scrutiny and public anger reached a peak, prompting King Charles to take what he called decisive action. The official steps included removing Andrew's remaining royal titles and his long-held role as Duke of York, as well as asking him to vacate the spacious royal lodge where he had long lived. These moves were widely interpreted as an effort to protect the integrity of the crown and distance the royal household from further controversy. Yet, despite these outward symbols of discipline, insiders and commentators suggest that the reality of Andrew's circumstances tells a different story, one that has left many feeling that the punishment does not truly match the public's sense of accountability. To critics, the problem is not merely what Andrew has lost publicly, but what he continues to retain privately. Though no longer a working member of the royal family and officially stripped of ceremonial honors, Andrew reportedly still enjoys a lifestyle that reflects comfort, privilege, and a degree of ease that seems at odds with what many believe should accompany his fall from grace. Behind palace walls, the narrative emerging is one of quiet entitlement rather than contrition. Those close to the situation describe Andrew as continuing to carry himself with confidence and expectation of deference, as though little has changed in his day-to-day life. He reportedly continues to receive a level of care and support that suggests he remains accustomed to the comforts of his former standing, even if they are now more discreet and off the official royal payroll. It is this perceived continuity of privilege, albeit more hidden from the public eye, that has become a focal point for critics who argue that Charles's actions amount to little more than symbolic gestures. Public sentiment has only intensified as more details have emerged about Andrew's ongoing lifestyle. Allegations that he expects staff to continue addressing him with honors he has officially lost, and reports that he still enjoys a comfortable residence and services far beyond what an average citizen could hope for, have fueled a sense that the punishment has not fully achieved its intended effect. To many, stripping titles and removing ceremonial roles looks impressive in headlines, but a lack of tangible consequences in Andrew's personal environment undermines the very point of those measures. The debate touches on much deeper issues about accountability, fairness, and the role of the monarchy in a modern constitutional framework. For years, the public has watched high-profile scandals play out in every quarter of society, from politics to entertainment. In such a climate, the expectation that figures in positions of inherited privilege should face consequences that reflect the seriousness of their actions has grown stronger. When it appears that someone remains comfortably insulated despite scandalous behavior, frustration quickly follows. Moreover, the controversy around King Charles's handling of the situation has triggered wider questions about the balance between familial loyalty and institutional responsibility. As monarch, Charles is tasked with upholding the dignity of the crown and ensuring that the monarchy remains respected both at home and abroad. Yet the personal bond between siblings, forged over a lifetime, often in a uniquely privileged world, makes the decision to punish Andrew a profoundly private and painful one. The king's dilemma is a human one as much as it is a constitutional one. How to reconcile love for a brother with the public demand for accountability. The decision to allow Andrew to retain certain comforts, such as financial support and private living arrangements, appears rooted in a broader strategic calculation. Some insiders argue that cutting him off completely could have unpredictable consequences, including the risk that Andrew might retaliate by going public with damaging information about the royal family. In an environment where personal memoirs, interviews, and tell-all accounts have become increasingly common, the prospect of a disgruntled former royal monetizing their experiences in the public sphere remains a genuine concern. This fear of escalation has fed into the king's cautious approach. While stripping Andrew of titles and public duties sends a clear message of disapproval, maintaining a degree of private support is seen by some as a way to keep him quiet and out of the spotlight. Such reasoning, however pragmatic it might be, does little to satisfy critics who view it as preserving privilege at the expense of justice. The optics of the situation, where Andrew no longer has formal status yet still lives comfortably and privately enjoys perks associated with his former life, fuels perceptions of inequity. As a result, voices from the press, commentators, and members of the public have grown increasingly vocal, calling for more definitive action. Some argue that Andrew should be entirely financially and socially separated from the royal institution and made to build his own life outside of privilege. Others believe that his continuing association, even in semi-private form, tarnishes the monarchy's image and undermines efforts to modernize its role and relevance. In their view, more decisive steps, potentially including complete financial severance or enforced relocation to a modest private residence, would better reflect the seriousness of his past conduct. There is also an emotional dimension to the public reaction. For many, the issue represents a broader frustration with systems that appear to protect the powerful while ordinary people face consequences for less significant transgressions. The sense that wealth, status, and connections can insulate individuals from true accountability is a recurring theme in debates over justice and privilege. In the case of Andrew and the king's response, this theme resonates strongly, creating a powerful narrative that goes beyond royal gossip and taps into wider societal expectations. At the same time, there are those who sympathize with King Charles's predicament, understanding the competing pressures of duty, love, and institutional stability he must navigate. They argue that the monarchy, as an institution, must guard against impulsive or punitive actions that might destabilize its long-term standing. The goal, in their perspective, is to protect the crown's continuity while still demonstrating that misconduct carries consequences. Striking this balance, they say, is inherently complex and unlikely to satisfy all critics. Nevertheless, as public discourse continues,